Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to jump into a traditional draft today. Actually, the vote was tied. I did throw it to a vote, but after having some success yesterday, we 3-0'd a traditional yesterday, and feeling like this is a nice format for sideboarding. I feel better about the non-aggro decks, especially in best of three, but even aggro, I like. Yesterday we were pretty aggro, and even being able to adjust your aggro deck in anticipation of what your opponent is going to be bringing at you in games 2 and 3 are important, and feel like an extra important aspect of this format in particular. An extra important aspect of your physical Magic shopping, though, has to be to include Card Kingdom on your list of possibilities. They are my sponsor. They have been for quite a while now. I sent them my numbers for the last 6 months last night. It's time to update my numbers, and guess what, gang? It's good news. The numbers have gone up. I'm getting more followers. I'm getting more viewers. It's not like gangbusters growth, but steady, 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 everybody. We're growing this stream, and I owe it all to you and your excellent time and attention when you come by and hang out, your recommendation when you recommend this stream to others, and for when you remember that you have got some physical stuff you want for your card game and you keep my affiliate link to Card Kingdom in mind for those purchases. I don't expect you to buy from Card Kingdom 100% of the time that you get Magic stuff, or remember to use my link even 100% of the time you buy from Card Kingdom. But when you find that Card Kingdom has what you want and you remember my link, it really helps out this stream a lot. So for all of you who've done that for me to this point in time, thank you so much. And for those of you who have not but do buy physical Magic stuff, just keep it in mind, and helps me out. Thank you. Let's jump in here and see what pack 1 brings. Get into the draft view. Dionysus, some baseline thoughts on sideboarding. Think both in terms of not only what cards in your sideboard are good against what your opponent is doing, you really need to think in terms of what cards in your main deck are bad against what your opponent is doing. So those are your two main metrics for just figuring out what to do. Because you both need to bring stuff in and you need to swap stuff out. And sometimes it's perfect. This card in my deck is bad against them. This card in my sideboard is good against them. Whee! Easy swap, right? The tougher part comes when that's not an equal balance. When you found 3 things you don't like in your deck, but you don't have good sideboard options, or vice versa. Vice versa is good problems to have when you have tough cuts to make. But the mentality of, what is my opponent trying to do, and what do I have to stop it, you know? Garruk, I've never played, I've barely even read Garruk. Let's see. Garruk Unleashed, 2 green, 4 mana Planeswalker, just like the OG. 4 loyalty, I should say. It was the first, yeah, 4 loyalty was the original. Plus, up to 1 target creature at +3. Okay, so individual overrun for 1 creature on the +1. Make a beast creature token that can potentially add loyalty if you're down. And then Searchlight. Yeah, so really it seems good enough. Oh, thanks, D. It's nice to get the 3-0 there. Yeah, this seems like good, right? Like, I didn't read this and go like, holy moly, we land this, we can't lose, right? But certainly seems worth taking and running. What I should have done there more is look more closely at what else was in the pack. I was kind of checking with chat and stuff, and I didn't think about wheeling and whatnot. We do want to try and support this with our upcoming picks. But also, it's not such a bomb that we couldn't abandon it if the table insisted. Visionary is what we sent. Yeah, Rouse, this is not a good pack, right? This is jumping out at me. But I haven't adored blue-green. We could also take Magmut. Stalker. I don't like the Stalker at all. Snout isn't worth picking to take in green here. I'm not... If this were more of a bomb, sure, I would kind of force it. But if we get pushed out of Garruk, it's not... You know, if we listen and we're supposed to be out of green, I wouldn't resist the signal. So I think it is Reed or Mutt. And boy, I guess I'm gonna take the Rousing Reed here, let it resolve. But I love that Mutt. I do love that Mutt. Pteranodon is nice with the Garrick. Scythe, pretty cool. A lot of rares going around. If you just want to build your collection with draft, the human drafts, I feel like if you just rare draft, you'll end up with 6+ rares a draft. Yeah, Roaming Ghostlight is another option with the Rousing Reed. Those are your 3 options: Pteranodon, Scythe, and Ghostlight. Scythe is probably the most tempting to me, even though it's not in any of our colors yet. Scythe hasn't been bad for Surion. Well, I was leaning 2-drop. I think in this format, if you're torn, picking a 2-drop is fine. Since a lot of people in chat seem off Scythe right now, and I really want to focus on 2-drops, I'm going to take the Pteranodon. Capture Sphere is a card that I need to come around on a little bit in this format. I think you just have to deal with the removal that you get. That being said, we don't need to take it here. We can still take a Mauler or a Spinner if we want to stay green creature-based. Is there anything pulling us off of our green-blue start? Like, Chorister's pretty good. I do want to build around Airy eventually, but it doesn't seem like the time for it. The Rise Again is an interesting black hedge here. Rousing Reed sets up Rise Again if we didn't end up in green. I've got it on Sphere, but I don't want it there. I think... but maybe I just leave it there. Yeah, I know, right? But it feels too early for all of this. So I'm going to take this Capture Sphere, but not love it. I really don't like it. You know me, I do not like this card that much. But I'm going to take a Ghostlight here as a quasi-reward for yeah, Mauler is solid too, right? I don't hate the Mauler, but it's not great, right? Mauler is just solid. And Oak is fine. Yeah, Oak is good, especially in the card drawing, but you really want to pass a Ghostlight for the Oak? Because this, to me, is just, yes. This is the right home for it. Blue-green, right? But is it worth it to have this the beater on the ground versus such a utility bounce? I'm going to stick with Ghostlight. That's my gut, so I'm sticking with it. I know, I get it. But those of you being like, Oak with Rousing Reed, any green creature with Rousing Reed. Yes, Oak is extra good on the turn you play it or whatever, but then it becomes a 4/5 flying unless you draw more cards, right? Or a 5 whatever flying. Snare, Spinner, or Arcanist. I do want to kind of lean into the green-blue we've started here, so let's take a Spider. You want to hedge the Rise Again? It's possible. We could. Like, these are pretty unexciting. This is more exciting than just about anything else in the pack. Rousing Reed is the only leaning we have towards this, though. I like it, though. I let it wind down here. It's a reasonable hedge. And then we have even like the Megalodon that would work with whether we go in or out of this Rise Again plan. Megalodon is reasonable here. That's a nice place to put a Rousing Reed. Guile is playable. I think all of these 3 are playable, but I don't care too much if I end up with them. Yeah, I would run a Guile. I would reluctantly run a Portcullis Vine if I wasn't doing the death trigger stuff. And then this just feels a little clunky for 4 mana. So yeah, like this needs some synergy before you'd want to run it. But the point is, like, I like the Megalodon for what we're looking at here. We could take a Blossoming Sands to set up a possible white splash out of this deck. Base green is good at splashing, so getting base green tap lands can set you towards possibly adding colors. And cancel is fine, right? I think cancel is replaceable enough that I'm going to hedge on the land. There we go. Here's where I feel a lot better about grabbing an oak. This opt would be nice for our deck, but let's take that payoff that some of you wanted earlier. I think Breath is playable in the right kind of aggro. I don't know if we are that, but I think it's playable. It's more playable in this format than I'm used to it being, Queen. Adam wanted the opt. I went with the beef. Hopefully we'll find some more opts. And this is best of 3, so we could take a miscast if we thought it was going to get something, but I'm going to continue taking these green lands and set up possible splashing. I mean, we might be able to splash Rise Again just on the strength of the hollow and still be base blue-green. Read the Tides is a weak main deck option. I'd rather just have Return to Nature out of the board here. Wow, the Mauler came back and we almost had taken that the first time, but it's pretty replaceable. And I'm going to take another hollow, which lets us seriously consider splashing a Rise Again plan if we get enough tools for Reanimator. Miscast sure got me yesterday, Rob, but it didn't make me think Oppo was necessarily doing the right thing there. We could take the Windscarred Crag, but it's not matching any of our base colors, and a second oak is a real plan here. So clearly I was right in taking the Roman Ghostlight because the oak came around. Looks like we're in the right lane. Another oak we can get 9th, apparently, so I'm not going to prioritize that too much. We could take a Feat of Resistance just to have some... Yeah, this is a lousy pack for us, wow. Kind of want to just take a gem pick for old time's sake. I mean, we could just take another oak. I guess we take another oak. Yeah, Looter's not bad for us, I suppose. Honestly, if this were anything other than an account that was gem independent, this account does not really care about acquiring gems. If you're finding yourself running out of gems, this is a spot where I take Idol of Endurance. I don't think any of the cards in this pack rise above just taking 20 gems from an EV standpoint. But since we don't need gems, I'm going to go for a pick. 2-drop. Yeah, I'm going to go for Protege. The Burlfist Oak has not been... Nobody at this table seems to care about it. And I also don't care about that. Like, if we wheel that spider, that's fine as well. Dismal Backwater helps with the splash we're working, but Cultivate does so even more and also can help us ramp to a Megalodon. So I'm going to take the Cultivate here. You like the Glide Master? I like the Glide Master too. That's fair. Glide Master is nice, and we are pretty weak on 2s. But we don't have a lot of 3s either. I'm going to take the Cultivate. I know Fenor. I'm going to be greedy. Yeah, that's true. There's a less chance that the Glide Master comes back. We could try and wheel the Cultivate. All right, and a narrow last-minute change. I'm going to give the nod to Fenor here and say, yeah, we need 2s. With double Jungle Hollow, we don't even need to Cultivate to do the Rise Again splash if we want to. We should cover our booties on 2s when we can. Solemn is fantastic. Surprised it's here. What's missing? A couple uncommons. So 2 people took uncommons out of this. I said, you know, once you know your colors, I can see uncommons being good enough that you wouldn't take the Solemn. It's hard to imagine not taking a Solemn pack 1, pick 1, but once you know where you're at, you could easily find some uncommons that drew you over over that. Singer here. Snare Spinner again gives us that option at 2, but I don't love it over a Singer. Another chance to just take some gems too. And I would... Singer, this is a worse gem pick than the pack 1, I think, but I'm going to take Singer here and suggest that if you're gem hungry, you could absolutely justify the idol. Here's a rare. Two flying for 2. That's a high flyer. And I like being able to block, but we're gonna take and run this. It's a 2-drop. You really prefer the Singer to the 2-drop? I gotta take the 2-drop. Yeah, I don't think this is anything special, but I think for curve purposes, I like the 2. There's Fenor. You're a broken record, Fenor, but it's one we need to listen to. Hunter's Edge, great here. A Temple. Look at that. 20 gems just hanging out in the pack, but it's also hanging out next to a Dreadmaw and a Guile. Dreadmaw is the pick. I'm kind of tempted to gem it up here. But I'll again say, we don't need to on this account. The collector in me wants to 4x the account as fast as we can, just because that's how my brain works. But seriously, this account does not need gems, and therefore this is the correct pick for us. But if you're a gem slight account, you're going to want to take rares in spots like that. Here we can take an Elder. Yeah, Dreadmaw is really good, but, you know, I'm just talking gem reality. Tranquil Cove wouldn't be bad trying to work the splash, but Elder is another 2 we can slot in nicely. I wouldn't mind a Larcenist either, but Elder's where it's at for us. The Oak came back indeed. That was at the last minute I bailed off the Oak pack 2 pick 1 for the Glide Master on Fenor's reminder that we need 2s, and the belief that with the other 2 Oaks we have having wheeled, we're probably going to wheel this one. And this is only pack 2. I think it's going great here. A Backwater really sets up the Rise Again splash. If we wanted, I don't even know if we wanted at this point. Maybe we just want a Truffle. But, oh, really? Did I? Oh, it was Protege over the Oak. Yes, it was a blue common, though, over the Oak, is what I remembered. I just got them mixed up. Sorry, I was really going to consider that Truffle Snout, but then let time run down. Track Down, I don't love, actually, but I think we can take it here. Yeah, 3x Oak. One important thing about the Track Down is that it is a draw. Man, I'm gen independent, and I could just take the Larcenist, but it's ridiculous that there's still gems here in the pack. I will take the Larcenist because we may play it here. It works with our plan, but... This is a dream pack for a rare drafter, a dream draft, dream pod is what I was looking for. Words, I know them. Another Temple. Obsessive Stitcher goes with the Black Splash we're considering. Rousing Reed, though, is really just combo-rific with the Burl Fist. As a starting point. I think we probably just want all the reads we can get here. Do you want to... Since we can so easily splash, we have a Dismal Backwater and 2 hollows. We could totally splash the Stitcher and the Rise Again, but we can just take the Rousing Reed. We'll see. I would not expect this to wheel, but it's obviously not impossible. It is 2-color, which helps it, but often that's what causes people to, like, hate draft it in a weak pack. This pack is decent, though, so maybe. Yeah, with this pod, anything is possible. Fair enough. We controlling enough for this? Do we have enough instances? Yeah, we're doing, like, Hunter's Edge, Track Down, Rousing. Oh, that's an enchantment. Yeah, we don't actually have a lot for this yet. But I still think we take it, and even if we can get back anything, it'll be worth it. But seriously, there's just we don't have a lot of instants or sorceries to grab. True, we do have the infinite combo if it gets there, but I still want to add. I want to add to our get back possibilities, like with an opt. Even might take an opt here over Tide Skimmer. We're so thick at 4s. We don't need more 4s. Like we kind of need to be done at 4. Barring ridiculousness. So yeah, let's opt on this case and try to wheel that snout. Waker of Waves is pushing me to say, yeah, sure, okay, we're gonna splash the Rise again. And if we see another one, I'll prioritize it. Another Hunter's Edge. I was saying we got to be done with 4s, but Hunter's Edge is less a 4, and it's more just generic removal that I think we should be keen on. Yeah, we're heavy at 4, but I can't pass this removal. I'll cut the Sphere if I need to. Pride Malkin, also interesting, but I'm going to pass it for the hard removal. Hardish removal. It's not hard removal. Hard removal means something very specific that is not. Another Waker. Come on, one more. I mean, this helps us splash anything, but yeah, I don't see anything here. I mean, we could permanent card. Rebirth is reasonable, but we got a lot of playables, so let's just fix our fixing for ever and ever and ever. We could take a second return for the board, but we got this Truffle Snout that could slide in at 3 reasonably. Yeah, we could Lurker. The thing is, the things I want to reanimate the most self discard, so I don't think we need the Lurker. Hey, who called the wheel? D called it right here, but I was not sure this would wheel. It did come around. Pretty big game for us. We didn't find another Rise again, but another Obsessive Stitcher is nice. I said I wasn't counting on it, but that, of course, it was possible. I just said I wasn't counting on it. We take Gloom Sower as more... Well, we don't need any more reanimation fodder. Let's just take a Larcenist, another Larcenist. Yeah, I guess, like, not many people are doing the Reanimator thing. I didn't look too closely at Indulgence. Maybe I should have. But I like the Larcenist with the Oaks, you know? Gnarled Sage or Truffle Snout. Sage could end up being a nice board option. I don't think we need another Truffle Snout. We got one in the deck. Really? Y'all want the... I took the Sage. I like Sage in the board. I think that's good. Indulgence was what you were suggesting. I'm just going to take the... Yeah, right, for Sideboard. I get it. Not playing that, not playing that. Boy, we got some cuts. Which is always where you want to be. But let's focus on... I want to in fact, this could be a... Let's try it this way today. We're not playing this. Oh, I misspelled traditional. Thank you. I hate that. I got fat fingers. Clumsy typer. Gosh, that means it was sitting there misspelled for a long time yesterday, because that's when I trained. Here, it's too long anyway, spelled correctly, so I'm just going to do it this. I don't usually deck build this way, but in a case like this where I want to be very focused on two things, the Splashed Reanimator package and the Burlfist Oak draw synergies. So I'm gonna and 2-drops. I would run 2s. These are close. I don't know if we end up running these both or not. They work on the draw 2. These are definitely in. This is definitely in. I'm gonna put this in the maybe side. This is in the maybe side. Definitely, 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 definitely. Maybe. Yes. That's sideboard. This can even, this is a draw. This is a 2 and it draws, so I'm going to call that a yes. This is even a maybe. Yes, yes, yes. Got to play your Garruk. Hunter's Edge is removal. We're playing that. Dreadmaw too good. Sage is a maybe. Yes and yes. 2-drops important. Like this could even be something we leave out. So then we cut all the maybes. We start to see where we're really at. Yeah, Glide Master gets there on the strength of being a 2. We're heavy on 4s, but if we do it this way, in this weird view, if you look at it more this way, I mean, Garruk I would put up here. I wish they would let me move after the fact, because Garruk is really... so a lot of people lay out their deck this way to get a view of it, and here I should get into deck building anyway. And I should remember to take the WotC sponsored down. I'm not sponsored by WotC today. Oh, that's the wrong one. Apparently I have 2 WotCs. There. Anyway, how I like to organize it is, am I playing this on curve or not? And like I would put track down in the 2s because but it doesn't impact the board, you know. But I would play it on 2. This is somewhat of a reanimation target. Really what we're trying to do is get walkers out quickly. And now what do we got to cut? I think one, well, let's also look at our overall number, 17-8. Let's cut one Larcenist for sure, and then maybe the track down can go. Yeah, I definitely cut one Larcenist, but now I'm on Larcenist or track down as the final cut here. Tron wants to cut an Oak. It's kind of, and so does Rob. Tron, Timnos, and Rob are all on cut Oak. Seems sketchy. It's kind of our build around. Yeah, Dreadmaw could be dropped. This, remember, you can think of this as here. We can do this on 2. So I'll pull this one. I think we've narrowed it down to, I'm going to say, I'm going to still offer track down. So track, Oak, or Maw as final cut. What are we cutting? I kind of think so too, Fenner, but I thought I'd throw it on there. It's somewhat replaceable. And honestly, this is, of all the cards we have, this is the one I like least against aggro. If you're doing this on turn 2 against aggro, they are licking their chops. Yes, I would definitely cut Ma over Megalodon, because Megalodon hexproof plus 2 rousing reads is a big game. It's a real deal. To make this a 6/8 hexproof flyer, yes please. I don't know if I like chat's decision on Ma. Oh, their Oak had 5. I think I'm going to override chat and cut 1 Oak. And we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see if you're right, chat. When I draw this Dreadmaw, we'll remember that most of chat thinks that this Dreadmaw ought to be our 3rd Oak. And that's something we can keep an eye on in the games for some data points. All right, now hit me with your... yeah, I have no ramp, but it's okay. Well, this is ramp. But it doesn't even matter. Like, if I didn't have this, it wouldn't be like, oh, we have Opt, we have Track Down, we have Solemn. So 3 cards help us figure this out. And 6 is not that big. Like, if I were talking about a 7 or an 8 that I wasn't trying, like, our 7 we're trying to reanimate, and our 7s we're trying to reanimate, and a 6 I think we can try and hardcast. One swamp for Solemn. We have 5 ETB tapped lands. Do we want to cut some of those for a swamp? This might be too many ETB tapped if given our splash. Thanks, Adam. We'll catch you later. And sorry, I was starting to mention, let's see, Nyx lands, Tron with sleeves, emotes on, and avatar swap for Hannah. Box is open. So I will turn on emotes. And Nyx lands. I'll work on the Nyx lands while the rest of you blingers let me know what I am to do. Oh, you can't remove my swamp. Okay, I guess when I ask for a suggestion, they can suggest to remove my swamp. And we'll fix that. Yeah, so Haj, you point out the 4 tap lands too. What do you like? Track Down is our deck box. Sleeve options. Shark sleeves. Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, chat. He'll chew you up. Okay, and yeah, what do you think about getting rid of one of these tap lands? Eight blue. Let's cut like that. Yeah, we need more blue. I agree. I think this is right. 3 tap lands and a single swamp for the Solemn. Oh, I thought you were telling us about your song selection of the moment. I was like, oh, Tron's back to the 80s. My daughter is an 80s music fanatic right now. That's one reason I immediately went to Hall & Oates, because I love me a Jay Schneider D, but I'm not going to play 41 here. This is good. One of my I love clever band names, and the duo Garfunkel and Oates. I love that's a brilliant name. And they're very funny. Check out Garfunkel and Oates if you like musical humor. All right, what are we calling this one? Garfunkel and Oak. Read the trees. You want Garfunkel and Oaks? It might not fit. Yeah, that's all right. Here we go. Oh, well, D, I guess you're going to have to use your channel points next time so you can settle your brain on the topic. Well, that's a lot of our black to kick things off here. Oppa going first. Darn it, we really need blue here. I'm going to mulligan this. If you show us the island on top, it's an easy keep, but this is too much of a disaster if we don't find blue immediately. This is too much of a disaster no matter what we draw, so we're going to 5. All right, we can work with this. Let's show them how it's done. Rousing Reed on something anyway, we're going to get rid of an island for sure. Actually, probably, I like 2 islands here. You got to be a little greedy. Keep our spells. And we have all of our mana here, and we can actually Waker on 2, and any land gets us into Library and Rousing Reed on 3, so we're actually okay here with this. Yeah, on 3. I still need to find a land. That's fine. Yeah, I should have kept 1. I could have kept an island, I suppose. Yeah, I just got enamored by the dual lands, but it would have been correct to keep Jungle Hollow and an island. You're right. I got dual goggles on. I will allow FFS for your expressions in this stream. Because, you know, for freak's sake. Nice! This in the hand, this in the graveyard, so we just set up our Stitcher for either of those. You can abbreviate the F-bomb with an F, and I'm fine with that. And I guess play Backwater, play Stitcher, and really just go for the... I'm going to go... As much as animating this would be nice, if we get out the Megalodon, we get our whole Rousing Reed combo going. So we're going to try that. Hopefully it lives. If the Stitcher lives, I like our chances here. Is there sacrifice a creature type stuff? I know there's sacrifice a flyer from green, but I can't remember if there's sacrifice from black. Yeah, 5/5 flyer. Sure, they could do that. The 5/5 the Gourmand. The Gourmand is enough of a reason to maybe hold on the Rousing Reed and get some more creatures out. Couldn't do it on their turn, by my recollection. Oh, sorry. That stuff is so usually sorcery speed. That was what I was thinking. Thankfully, it's hexproof, so it doesn't really matter, but that's weird. Normally, reanimation is sorcery speed, so I put in that clause in my own brain. As you know, this is not a reading channel. Yeah, I think we can go for the read here. If they have the main deck counter instant or sorcery, I mean, okay. Yeah, hexproof for sure, War Furnace. Hexproof flyer is going to be way better. Yeah, we're going for the combo. The only concern is possible counter magic, but it's on what I consider a not main deckable uncommon, so we're going to try. Oh, wait, yeah, that's true. Lofty is more real. Lofty is a real consideration. I don't think we need to risk our big combo yet. We could go Pteranodon Elder here, and that's fine. I'm going to do that. Let's at least test the waters. Okay, like no pause whatsoever. That's good to know. We can do this. Frankly, the Death Touch instant. Well, there was no pause, so I'm going to do it. Like if they manage to do some speed through and they have the Death Touch, I'm gonna tip the cap because I didn't see any pause. And we want forest. Yeah, we want to keep finding lands right now. Get the Dreadmaw ahead. Now I feel much safer with the Rousing Reed next turn. They need to have drawn something right now, it seems, to stop this action. And Elder is prowess, which is non-creature, which means the Rousing Reed even triggers the Elder. Although they do have a solid block. I'm gonna go. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. What do we have at 2 though? We have Glide Master and Shacklegeist and Track Down. I guess we have more blue 2s than green 2s, so I'm gonna leave blue. Plus, we have green that we can drop if we need it anyway. So this gives us all our mana. Yeah, I was thinking I was probably gonna pitch that. That's all. But we'll see. Oh, nice. I will ditch the island since we can play the forest and still do the opt. And the opt will get the will make the Elder kill the Stitcher if they choose to block. And we'll keep that. We're close to casting that, and if we can also cycle it. Oh, good. We do get the Stitcher. Ghost Light, good card, but also shows you why we chose the Hexproof. Rise again. Let's just do that with the Waker we have in the yard here. They got some mana open, but we haven't seen them use it. We can even do Stitcher, but I guess that's fancy play, right? I do, John, I do. Shade John saying, remember when Tap Defender didn't deal damage? Shacklegeist. Do we want a Shacklegeist, or do we just want more mana to get our Dreadmaw down? Shacklegeist trades in the air. I'm gonna scry it away for land. We'd like just to hard cast these, and that we make this game almost unlosable. That's why it's fancy play, true. Because it looks cool, but it's worse, right? I mean, it's just my brain. Like, there's a lot of loops in Magic, right? It's the whole, is this a Gravedigger getting a Gravedigger thing, right? And the answer is no, it's not. Because the Stitcher has to sacrifice itself to get the other thing back. But I don't mind working through that stuff in my head, since my head often forgets. So here we get the land we need to drop Dreadmaw this turn, and I'm going to keep sending in these forced chumps effectively. Well, fancy play syndrome, often the whole point is that it's just worse. It's like, why did you do that? That's worse. We're close to dead, but they have some forced blocks here. This could slip away from us with the right blocks or whatever, but and we could even just, like, we probably should just put the most creatures down here. Like, I could drop a Dreadmaw, but yeah, we should just put a couple creatures. And happily block with them. So they got a lot of removal, and the Megalodon is going to be important for our strategy, because this whole reanimation thing gets pretty weak in the face of hard removal against all the stuff you reanimate. But again, we're not going to mess around here. We're going to chump. Chump. Do we have to double chump? We could take 3 and leave the Elder. This is a force block. The Elder connects. I'm going to do it like this. We'll chump the big one. You want to chump with the Elder? Yeah, I guess this just draws no matter what. That's probably a better chump, you're right. Larcenist just gives us a draw by attacking. Just shaving off enough of that life to help us get there. Ooh, that's interesting. But doesn't actually change the clock. If we send in, we can get them to 1, or sorry, to 2. And then we have Protege Glide Master to keep our plan going. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. And maybe we draw a land here. Or even better, Hunter's Edge. We can Hunter's Edge and Glide Master and then be fine. Too bad we can't do it at instant speed and win. Hunter's Edge is sorcery, so we've got to do that now. And yeah, we'll kill the Dowser. Now we chump and hope to see the scoop. Should have used Edge on Glide Master. I don't... Oh, I see. Play the Glide Master and make it bigger, sure. Yeah, I was looking at what we had on board and not thinking about that line. Good call, Hodge. We got the game, though. Got the game. And blue-black... You know, reanimation mirror, although they're a little bit more into the removal heavy, like we're really blue-green with a black splash. They're just dedicated blue-black. It's a tough matchup for us. I'm glad we got the first one, but this is going to be tough for us, I think. True said it first. Good call, True, then. Good call, everybody who realized that. I like Guile. I do want to include the Guile, because we saw multiple finishing blows. And the Ghostlight. Roaming Ghostlight, 2 finishing blows, and a Shipwreck Dowser to get the finishing blows back. I think that we will absolutely find a place to get value out of a Ranger's Guile. Almost to the point of, like, maybe this is where I cut the track down, although the matchup is slow enough where track down could be good for us. Sage for their flyers is interesting, but I don't think we need that. Oh, maybe there's only 1 blow and they got it back with the Dowser, but nonetheless, I think it's worth the Guile with what we saw from that deck. No, I mean 2 resolved against us, but one of them got back from the Dowser. That's where I got 2 from. I still like I still want to try the Guile here. I'm just trying to figure out what to cut. I'm leaning track down, maybe even the Opt, but Opt works with the Oaks. I think I'm going to go track down on this. All right, we can keep this. Need some more green, but we do have the Solemn. If we haven't found black or green by turn 4, we'll probably go for green on the Solemn. But there we found the extra green we need. I'm going to play our own Elder, of course, and then probably be forced to not block theirs. And they might be able to drop a 3-drop that can block ours, which kind of stinks. Ugh. I don't remember what instant speed tricks they played, but I mean, it's not difficult, like with Opt. This is tough. And they're potentially doing reanimation too, so like looting is a real rough thing to give a reanimation deck. Haj is considering calling the bluff. They've played their 3rd land and they haven't played another spell yet, so they can only play blue cards this turn. I'm going to say no blocks and make them come up with a blue 3-drop that will mess with our Elder. I mean, there are plenty. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just going to make them have that. All right, give me a... Yeah, perfect. Love it. What a great draw. Could not have been luckier on that draw. Unfortunately, we give them another shot with their Elder, but I think we have to do this here. Paulie, you can't be thinking about blocking, can you? I didn't think so. Excellent. We get to drop an island out of this hand, which I think we can do with Solemn getting us to 5. Yeah, we can get rid of an island here, and then we get to play this other one and have Pteranodon Opt. No, I don't want Opt for the damage. I like having Opt threatening for Elder. And I'm not even going to cast Opt if we go to untap and have that option, although that option is going to be telegraphed by the pauses. Because I actually want the Opt for future Elder shenanigans. That's what I was thinking. Not guaranteed that's the correct line, but at least that's my thought process around it. All right, that's rough, but we get to drop the Oak next turn and then follow it with Opt and Garrick and stuff. And at least we don't have to recast these. They're just frozen for a minute.
All right, everyone, chill.
Ramp is nice, but I'm looking ahead to having 9, 10 Trampler. That's my plan. 9, 10 Trample. Solemn blocks the Elder. I mean, we'd throw the Solemn in front of anything. If it dies, you draw a card, so make him have it, right? Right now, we're trying to leverage the fact that they seem to be on one color, although note that they chose to pitch the Swamp. So maybe they just don't need black yet, and they're sandbagging a Swamp that they're going to drop whenever the time comes that they actually need to cast a black spell. Wow. So, Garrick's going to take a back seat for a moment because we're going to Rousing Read Opt instead. We could Rousing Read the Pteranodon, and then it self-attacks. And it splits our team up. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's make this always big, always attackable, and divide up the team a bit. Yeah, I'll pitch the Waker. Yeah, we can discard the Maw, but we're close to hard casting this, and Waker less so. Of course, Waker we can self-do the thing, but it's put into hand. It doesn't even draw cards. I'm going to pitch the Waker. Now this doesn't have Trample, which is relevant, but I still like the line. And then, yes, attack all. I don't think they can get us from 12 to 0, so we're going full aggro here. And I'm still going to save the Opt. Because we hope to be able to attack with Opt while trampled, so that's what I'm looking for here. I'm going to actually pitch the Dreadmon now and keep the land. This sets us up for Garrick plus Opt for sure next turn. Yeah, Larcenist would be another one to pitch. Maybe I should have done Larcenist. Feeling like neither the Dreadmon nor the Larcenist really matter much here. Oh no, did I forget a... That's just a punt. Stream distraction punt. It's okay, though. We still get our plan. We still get our play next turn. The main thing is that we have Garrick Opt next turn. And yeah, those are the mistakes I make that I forgive myself the most for, because I know I wouldn't do that if I wasn't streaming, so no big deal. See? Got it anyway. How can you punt a victory? You can punt a victory when it's still a punt. That's how. I know that. I'm just teasing. All right. Another good start to the day. 1-0. Deck was doing all right. The Dreadmaw did show up a few times, and remember the Dreadmaw was supposed to be, according to chat vote, we were supposed to do 3 of the the Oaks and none of the Dreadmaw. It hasn't really mattered. I haven't really we never casted the Dreadmaw, Although, if it had been an oak, there would have been another turn, I think, where we would have gone 2 spells choosing oak plus some other 2-drop. So, I suppose in that matchup, the third oak would have been better than the first Dreadmaw, but I'm still going to run it this way. Oh, Avatar, yes. Thank you for the reminder. I felt like I was forgetting something. Apologies, Hannah. Oni! What's up? Love it when Oni makes his way back to the stream and says hello. For those of you who don't know, Oni is the designer of my stream graphics. So if you dig my vibe, you've got Oni to thank. No gifts needed. You can absolutely send me something to sign. Is Hannah around? Or am I showing this to nobody? Oh, Chandra was already chosen. Sorry.
Get out of my way. I'm burning up here.
Great. Well, we'll see, Haj. Sometimes you just gotta fade my mistakes, like I do. Well, yeah, because red is good, Oni. Of course you've been drafting this set nonstop. What percentage of your decks have been red? Probably Limited Resources is the card I have signed the most. Oh, and yeah, sorry. I gotta find my address that you can ship stuff to. I can get that in a moment. It's not my home address, so we're gonna keep this on the strength of the track down, finding us a blue source on turn 2. I don't need to. Found it anyway. Now we can stitch on 3 after waking on 2. And if we find another land, we get to reanimate on 4. All right, reanimate on 4. Everybody in for that? And this can be done instant, so we'll pass. Here we go. The Going Optimal LLC part is optional, but if anybody wants to send me anything, you can send it here. Sorry, Oppo, I'm not trying to slow you down, slow roll you here. Going Optional, very good hat. Wowie, I thought our start was looking good. This is looking great, but I still think we can potentially outdo it here. And we need more green than blue. No, actually, more blue is fine. We have double green already. We have double blue already. I guess triple blue over triple green. And we kind of say Stitcher is must kill. I mean, the Waker is right there. So they're going to get nice smack out of this. It's only 1, right? They get a creature card. Okay, so they don't get, like, all the creatures they find. So we're going to let them 2 for 1 here and then try to tighten things up with a 7/7. That's the plan. 7/7 dies, we could be in trouble, but also 7/7 is the best type of creature to have against red-green. High toughness is just tough for red-green to deal with. And I'm going to remember that I didn't remember this in our first match, but Obsessive Stitcher does work at instant speed. So we are going to make sure we're going to put Oppo to the test of remembering what we can even do here. Oh, did they fail to find? Yeah, that would be... No, they didn't fail to find. They found Bolt Hound. That would be pretty bad luck, yeah. Yes, you can absolutely send me lunch boxes on that front. Let me show you. Where'd it go? That's not optimal. Oh, here it is. Our friend Scott. Haven't seen Scott in a while, but Scott, a.k.a. SL29347N, made me a Going Optimal lunchbox that is one of your options for the wall. So, yes, of course you can add to the lunchbox collection. Although if I end up green screening this stream at some point, the lunchboxes may take on a different role. I think they've become too beloved to just retire. But if I stop streaming in front of a bank of lunchboxes, we'll figure out what to do with lunchboxes. Yeah, that's true. What cards? Oh, they're the meme cards. We've got I should not annoy my Oppo here. Sorry, hold on. All right, this is suggestive of having combat tricks, but we can't just let them do this again and again and again. So I'm going to risk it, make them have it. It may be this plus a shock or something, but I can't just let them connect again and again with the Harbinger. So let's go get our big boy, our big sea creature, and see if it's enough to at least trade. The attack into this makes me think that we're gonna 2-for-1 them and lose our Waker. That's what I'm hoping for. My hope here is we get 2-for-1. We 2-for-1 them in the exchange of Waker for Harbinger. Worst case is they have like +4/+4. Yeah, worst case is True Strike, right? But I can't let them keep attacking with this. So yeah, Sure Strike. Let's expect it and know that we had to do this. And then we'll try to recover with our other cards. All right, that's the best case. Woo! Thankfully, it was best case, and we got a 2-for-1 out of him. And now, Pride Malkin. I like Larcenist and Glide Master here. Just deploy a couple of creatures, and we can even make the Larcenist fly and start drawing some cards. And it doesn't matter which land in that case, although we don't need swamps, so I'm just out of the lack of need for black, I'm just going to use the non-black lands there. The race is on. Do we care? I mean, we could just offer Glide Master for Bolt Hound, and that seems fine to me. Glide Master, making stuff fly, all well and good, but we can, if we take the Bolt Hound out, I think we're in a much better spot in the race. We can send in the Larcenist. Waker is soon to be hard cast from hand here. So yeah, let's... Yeah, it does suggest a blocker incoming, which would make me want to make the Larcenist fly for the card. But really, I mean, we could even just do this. Like, I don't need any of this if we get this down and going. But I'm going to do this. Make him have the creature to block the Larcenist, and well, looks like, wow, they don't seem to. And we can even go Rousing Reed. Well, Rousing Reed is risky on the Larcenist here. I'm going to save the Reed for a possible flying 8/8 instead, and just send the Larcenist and see what they've got for it. I don't like casting Reed on the Library Larcenist into open red mana. I mean, I would do it on a 7/7 because nothing in red can really get that out from under us. But on a 2 toughness, that's high risk in this format. Multiple common red spells punish you hard for that. Yeah, we could have done track down first. That's fair. Set up the scry. That's reasonable. I'm liking this, though. We got our guaranteed Waker next turn, and track down sorcery. We'll do that now. Should have done it before. I think you're right. Should have done it before combat, but not going to not do it now. Nice suite of stuff here. Rise again, getting... Oh, this, we just love it all. Just need to put Pteranodon up top so we draw. And then I like Rise again third, removal second, and then the thing that draws us the card on top. And we can even play that now. Thank you for that sub. Of course, we could cycle the Waker, but we're just going to hard cast this soon enough. We're going to... So you liked our sequencing hat? You liked taking a random draw and then scrying underneath as opposed to scrying and then taking a scripted draw? Empath. See what they go get with this. Hopefully it's just like a 6/6 trample common. Well, we already have a Waker in the graveyard, Mike. So, I mean, yeah, we could cycle so that we could do it. We can just hard cast this, right? I can literally hard cast this next turn. And I'm going to save the opt again, since we know what's coming and it's all good. But yes, an embarrassment of riches that is nice to have. We can send in the Larcenist and offer a trade and then drop the Waker. And look, it was just a Dreadmaw. That was kind of what I was hoping for. You like, oh, Whale first. They still get to trade, right? Oh, no, yeah, they could have, we could have not made this a trade, sorry. Should have done Whale first. I'm just happy to have a 7/7. I forgot the -1. Now we get really brutal sequence here, making up for my bad sequence last turn of Hunter's Edge on the Dreadmaw, and then Rousing Reed on the Pteranodon, maybe into Oppo Scoop. Yeah. I'll try to remember my -1 ability in the future games here, but we got that one. This is what usually, I mean, this is, most punts don't cost you the game. You notice that? You notice how often I punt, but it doesn't really change the outcome? But it's just those little edges. Eventually they do, and that's the difference between the great ones and the rest. Thatchy Rumble says, big shout out to my Discord, Ryan. What a wonderfully welcoming community. You know it. I got the best community here. Very proud of the people I have managed to attract. Yeah, I don't know if we saw 2/1 sack duders. This was the big scary. Hellkite Punisher. So they are getting pretty big, and we saw the Fierce Empath that can get that Hellkite chunk. So Oh man, favorite limited archetype from any set since Ixalan. That's after Dominaria, right? So probably my favorite limited archetype was probably Dimir from Guilds of Ravnica, even though that was not a very healthy draft format in the end. Sorry, yes, yeah, Capture Sphere makes some sense for that big removal, right? For the big creatures. Hunter's Edge still good here, but I do like a Capture Sphere in here. Let's drop a track down for that. Right on, Jammer. Glad you are finding your way to Arena. I think there's great value to be found here, and really honored that you're taking the time to go to my back catalog. I know that's not something I can just expect that people are going to do offhand or anything. So when people take an interest in my old LR content warms my heart that you'd go check that out. Thanks. Now, what are we doing here? Oppo going first. We do have a Larcenist on 3. They are pretty aggro red-green, though, so this could be too slow. But yeah, he shows us a forest, and we get a Pteranodon on 2, and it's not slow at all. But it's a high risk. We do have 2 draws for it, though. I'm going to keep. It's a little bit risky. We have a lot of green, though. We have 2 draws to find it. And our fallback plan is that, all right, we play our first play is a turn 3 Larcenist. And great that their first play is a track down. It means we're not under immediate pressure. Oof. Worst land draw of our deck, but all right. We got some looting. We'll probably be able to loot that away. You're a turn late forest, but I don't hate you. I'm going to start with a Larcenist, though. Oh, they bricked on track down? No. They did. They got... turn to slag. Yeah, wow. They didn't draw off track down and just gave that up? Maybe they stacked wrong and it was a shame scoop of some kind? Oh yeah, they bottomed 3 and then missed. Good point. Wow. They kept a risky one. Oppo seemed to get unlucky there, but I think they gave up too early. We didn't have intense pressure yet. We could have easily bricked on our upcoming draws and not been able to land any of our green stuff. So I get it. Oppo was frustrated and got super unlucky, but I think if Oppo had just toughed it out a little bit, they had a real chance there still. Yeah, 2-land track down is a sneep. That's kind of one of the reasons you're running the card, is that it can fake it. It can fake your 3rd land. All right, let's update this record. I keep forgetting to use my dead guy audio clips when I lose, but haven't lost today yet, so hasn't come up. Play first. It's a lot of land, but we do have a Stitcher to loot stuff away, and oh wow, I was gonna say, and an Oak on 4. We actually don't have Oak on 4 yet. This could be rough if the Stitcher is killed, but I'm gonna keep it. All right, that's something we can do on 2, and it supports the Stitcher, so that's excellent. We're now on turn 4 Waker again, if we can keep the Stitcher alive. And Oppo not doing anything yet on 2 is interesting. We're going to choose Shacklegeist because we have the land we need to execute our plan, although we do need a forest. I could take the forest to be sure that we Oak but I think we take Shacklegeist and try and find... Well, although our plan is to sack the Stitcher and not loot. Yeah, although I'm not going to draw out Burn Spell. I'm just literally going to play the Stitcher on our turn. I'll take it... There we go. Not punished. Never punished. You all know that. But I'm not going to play Shacklegeist to draw out Burn. We could. But I'm going to make him have it. I just like making him have it. And they didn't do it there, so they don't have the 3 mana, and now we've got it. Excellent. Track down plus Shacklegeist plus land here seems fine. We could also Rousing Reed. I mean, they're green, red. I guess we just put Rousing Reed on Waker and they scoop. Oh, no, we don't. This isn't green, red. We don't know what their second color is. Since I don't know what their second color is, I'm not going to get... I'm not going to put Reed on the Waker. Jason just wants to go for it. I would rather spread it out a bit, Jason, so that if they take care of our Waker, we get Reed on a Burlfist, for example, you know? So I'm going to go with Shacklegeist track down, and we'll start with the track down. Hunter's Edge is going to be great for us. Again, I like all of these here. We don't need the land, though. We can put that away. Yeah, this is fine. You know what my own revealed card is. They were never blocking with Mirror. I think they needed to get back in this. This is really inspired what I want to do. Timno says that the devs probably just played a lot of Cube while designing this set. I think it's a prescient, or not prescient, that's not the right word, but a sharp comment, because I think it's very much building around some classic themes of Cube, and I think this is a really great set to build a bargain Cube around. So keep that in mind. Now, red, we don't know anything else of what they're doing other than red. That could mean a Guile is useful, but I think red removal is good for us because of our big butts in our deck. I'm just going to run this back. I don't know what they're doing, and I guess if they're red, we can assume they're maybe a little lower down, but they did play a ramp 3-drop. Wondering we should bring in Oak over Dreadmaw. A lot of people wanted third Oak over Dreadmaw anyway, so against red, I'm going to shrink our curve just a touch with that swap, and we'll see how that plays out for us. Yeah, cubes tend to be a lot more powerful, but I just found this set very inspiring for how to approach building a budget cube. Waker lets us search for stuff. Rousing Reed lets us search for stuff. So I'm going to keep on the strength of Waker and Reed here. Also, self-cycling Waker sets up for a possible Rise Again on 5. I don't think that does too much against us. Forest, best draw in our deck right now, because we could just drop a Pteranodon and then Rousing Read it on 3. Forest, forest, forest! 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 Not quite. All right. We'll cycle the Waker and look for one before our next turn. So it is red-green. 2 red-green opponents this draft, right? All right, Cultivate What other colors might they be? No, just the red-green, it looks like, unless they have some other third color already in hand. We're gonna look for our second color. All right, found it, but God, we had a Stitcher we have to give up? Oof. I'll be a grown-up. Gnarled Sage would have been good against our potentially flying 4/4, but Hunter's Edge says we can just kill it now and go. Hunter's Edge. The hunt ends, lunch begins. Nice. Any land that enters untapped, we could have ghost lit the Dreadmaw. As it is, let's go still Rousing Reed, and then with any land we can track down after. And we're in a pretty good racing spot with Roaming Ghostlight eventually bouncing that Dreadmaw. All right, let's pitch. Could pitch the Rise again. What do we want to ditch here? Glide Master seems far off from being activated, that's fair. But it can block. Shacklegeist can't block. All right, I'll ditch the Glide Master, but the blocking is somewhat real. I'm going to get the Shacklegeist down, though, and continue our pressure. They might have to use a Slag on the Pteranodon here. That would be all right. I guess the Trample makes it not great. Yeah, and that's not a bad result, right? Like, yes, we lost our Flyer, but they had to spend their whole turn to do that, and now we set them way, way, way back with the Ghostlight and set up our Rise again, so looks great. They can't recast the Colossus without finding a way to kill the Ghostlight, or they're just dead. Well, they're not dead. They do have a reach creature. And another one. So still looks solid for us, though. That helps, and so does I'm going to remember this time. So I screwed up this before, but here's me trying to be a better player and learn as I go. They do have a good block on the Ghostlight right now, but not after I get the Whale in play. So I'm going to get that Whale back, which I failed to do earlier in this event, and this time I'm going to do it right. And now our Ghostlight has good attacks. It had good attacks anyway, but now they don't even have... They can't... Spider... Oh, Spider does still trade. That's true. I forgot the plus bonus. Still, make him do it, and I love... at least I remembered... I'm just happy that I remembered to do it before combat, so... The fact that I forgot the spinner part, secondary to me actually remembering to do it. And then, yeah, we can even track down now. And we certainly like an Elder here. We could just scry everything, but Elder is enough. You want to leave something to make sure you get that draw. I remembered. And look, I remembered this too. I almost threw this island out because that's one of my bad habits. And I remember, Ryan, you're not supposed to throw islands out when you have a bunch of land. You got to stop and think. Anyway, yeah, we basically have this one. But again, I was just proud that I remembered not to throw this out there because I have a looter. We probably have this game, but still, think. I think it's their only way. They got to trade Waker for Dreadmaw and Dart. And then we hope that our leftovers are enough. They have to answer. They have to answer everything. I just don't think there's the tools in these colors. I guess they could make a couple of chumps, but then again, you know, then what? I know. I've remembered all my pings today. And unless they come up with something pretty impressive, that's GG. It is GG. We did it, gang. Wow. We rolled them today. I got all the time in the world now. Yeah, I guess we'd better draft again. But let's claim this prize. Enjoy our profit meme. Go to Soapbox and thank our YouTube friends. That was awesome. Wow, that deck worked out. Some variants went our way too. Overcame some punts on my part, as I always have to, but pretty nice. So let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing 3-0 after 3-0. I like that. Let's keep that going. We'll do that in the next draft, I hope. Bye, YouTube.